I'm going to show you how to sell solar over the phone in 2024. Hey, welcome back. My name is Ivan, and on this one, I'm going to show you how to switch from knocking doors to selling over the phone. Or if you're just starting out in solar, I'm going to show you how to never go out on the doors and how to find your way out and actually start a career in solar where you sell over the phone. Now, before we get started, I want to tell you this. It's extremely important who's the source of information. If you're looking to become a millionaire and you ask a bum down the street on how to become a millionaire, they're not going to give you a very adequate advice on how to do that. And that's exactly the same way when it comes to selling solar over the phone. If you ask somebody who's never done it, was never been successful at it, how are you expecting for them to give you the strategy and the blueprint as to how to be successful in exactly doing so? It's not going to happen. So first you got to make sure that the person you're learning from has actually been there and done that, which is why exactly you're watching this video. In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to be successful when closing over the phone. Well, listen, so in order to pitch solar over the phone, you really need three things. So you need structure, which is number one. Number two, you need scripts for every single part of the process. And then number three, you gotta have a flow chart. And I'm gonna explain what each and every single one of these things actually means. So let's look at the first thing. You need a structure. Why do you need a structure? Because a lot of people have unrealistic expectations as to what it really takes to close over the phone. If you go into somebody's home, you're able to build trust a lot more easily and a lot more comfortably because they see you, they're able to see your facial expressions, they're able to see, they can feel your aura, if you will, your energy, because you're in the room. They can see you're smiling, they can see you're a real person, they can relate to you a lot faster. Now, you can't do that over the phone. And so that's why, so it's not going to happen in one call. You're going to have 3 or 4 calls if you want to take somebody from not knowing who you are to literally getting them to sign docs and deal done. So the first thing in the structure is you have what they call the initial contact. So the initial reach out is to actually set the appointment. That's when yourself, AI, or an appointment setter, a human appointment setter, can actually pre-qualify the customer or qualify the customer to make sure that they meet all the criteria of what? They have $100 or more of an electricity bill, they have $650 and above credit score, and they're a single family homeowner. They meet all of that criteria, they're able to pass them over to a closer, which is at the discovery call. So that's the next part of the process, which is the discovery call. The discovery call is where all the magic happens. It's not on the next call, which is the closing call. Everything, all the magic happens on the discovery call. Why? Because the discovery call is not simply to ask, a bunch of questions and then try and get the bill. I've seen time and time again people try to get the bill. I'm like, what do you mean you tried to get the bill? You just get the bill. Your job as a closer is to get him excited on the second call, which is that discovery call, is to get him excited enough that you don't even have to ask for the bill. That just naturally comes as a next part of the process, and the homeowner will know that. And it's exactly what I am referring to. Your job is not to get the bill and then pat yourself in the back, because that's what a lot of people do, and then have a bunch of no-shows on the actual closing call, which is the most important part of the process, where you actually show them the numbers and you seal the deal. They don't get the homeowner excited and they can't get the bill. And even if they get the bill, they have a bunch of no-shows, which is exactly the complete opposite of what you need to do. The discovery call is the most important call out of all. That's where you build the most amount of trust, the most amount of excitement, and they just excited to show up for the next call, and they'll pretty much do anything that you've asked for them to do, which is, well, we got to get the bill first in order to build the proposal, Mr. Customer. And so that's exactly what you do. Now, the next part of the process is the close. And the closing call is really when you run the numbers and you show them exactly based on their bill and usage what they're entitled to and how much they're going to be saving every single month, and the long-term savings. So your job in the closing call is to really explain how the program works, and of course to run credit. And that's when you move on to the last part, which is you got to sign docs. Okay, usually that could be with yourself. AI could do that, or you could have a dedicated person that could really sign docs for you. So once you close the individual or the account, you can just pass them over to a loan doc specialist. Okay, so that is the structure of the entire process. That's what it takes for you to close solar over the phone. Now, number 2 is the script. So scripting is extremely important, especially if you're starting out. I mean, I've seen people tell me,
well, I can close. I have like an 80% or 90% close rate at the home. I'm like, homie,
this is not your home, G. Like, you're not in the person's living room. Like, you need to make sure that you build the same level of excitement, the same level of trust, or very similar, but you need to do it without having them to see your face or without you being able to see theirs. So it's a lot harder, and you need to make sure that you have as much ammo as you possibly can in order to accomplish that over the phone. And so that's why you need to use scripts for every single part of the process. Now, usually the way the scripts works is you got to have the whole script laid out, and then you change individual words within the script to make the script your own, which is extremely important, to make it sound like it is your own, essentially, and that you're not reading it. I always say, if it doesn't sound like you're reading it, you might as well read it. It's perfectly fine as long as you don't sound like you're reading it. And you change individual words within the script and not the whole paragraph, because the paragraph is there for a reason. So to pretty much sum it up, you gotta use everything that you possibly can, all the ammo that you possibly can, because you go to war. And when you go to war, you need to make sure that you have the most amount of ammo. There's no such thing as too much ammo when you go to war, okay? So that's why you need to have a well-written script for each and every single part of the process. Now, number 3 is flow, or a flow chart, okay? And the flow chart is very simple. You can follow a script, you cannot follow a script. I recommend scripting because scripting just works, especially if you're just starting out, if you've never done it before. But a flow chart is pretty much, it's how you build the script around the flow chart. So first the first point is you have incentivize. So you got to incentivize them first. You give them an incentive for going solar. That could be a personal incentive, state incentive, federal. You explain all of that. Second thing you got to do in the flow chart is you got to humanize the loan or the lease. There's 2 ways you can go about selling them solar. There's either a loan or a lease, or a cash deals, but over the phone, those are extremely rare. So you got to humanize the loan. I call it humanize the loan or a lease, because a lot of people get afraid when they hear about, oh, that's like a 20 or 25 or 30-year loan, and all of a sudden I'm just stuck there paying that bill. So you have to explain really what it entails and why it is a 25-year loan, and so on and so forth. Now, once you humanize a loan, the next step in the process is to make sure that you explain how they're protected. So you're going to tell them about all the warranties and how you're not going to fuck them over, which is the most important part of the warranties that people just tend to completely miss. You have to make sure they explain to them how they're protected from all angles, they're completely bootstrapped, and they cannot miss. And you have to explain to them how they're completely protected from all and every single angle, and how you have their best interest in mind. And you're going to do that by explaining, of course, what the warranties are, but also you got to let them know, and you got to say it more than once, that they could actually cancel the deal. And you got to tell them in advance that nobody, not us, not the installer, nobody gets paid before after install for their protection. And so they have every right to cancel all the way up until install, and they can pretty much do so free of charge. And by doing that, the homeowner is going to feel a lot more comfortable going to the next step, which is signing docs, because signing docs is usually, people see it as, if I just misread something and all of a sudden I sign and I end up, stuck paying this thing off for 25 years, and making a mistake. Whereas they have all this time now, when you explain it properly, they're going to know that they just have all this time now to do all the thinking in the world, all the due diligence, and everything possible in between, because it takes anywhere between 30 to 90 days to install solar. Well, now they feel a lot more at ease to do what you've asked them to do. So that's pretty much what the flow chart is. Now, a lot of people ask, well, how do you actually sell somebody if you can't show them the proposal? Because if you're in a Zoom call, you already know I'm not, because they're not able to see your screen. And so how do you really show them the proposal? How do you really show them how the panels are going to look like and everything else like that? Well, it's very simple. There's a website called crankwheel.com. Look it up on Google. What allows you for you to send a screen sharing link to the homeowner as you're on the phone with them. They can do it right on their phone. They're going to be pretty much, and what that's going to allow them to do is see your screen in real time, and then you can go over the proposal, as you're talking to them. All right, I hope that was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions regarding selling or pitching or anything to do with closing over the phone, put it down below in the comments. I would love to answer your questions. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the future uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.